Good evening, Board of Directors, Superintendent Larios, staff, and guests. Thank you for joining us this evening for our November regular board meeting today. It is 5:45 p.m. and I now call this meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have our agenda in front of us. Do we have any amendments to the agenda? Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of adopting the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. At this time, I would like to invite the Human Resources Department to present their recognition. Oh my gosh, the crazies.
Is it good? Okay. So I'm sure I'm sharing what goes on in our office quite often. So I'll start with inviting up my team, my work family. Come on up here. Give me something to hold on to for a minute.
They fidget.
I'm doing that because I brought them up as a group because they don't like being in front of the room. So I agreed that I would do this as a family, and here we are. So it's a great pleasure that I'm here to recognize and share a bit about my office mates. All combined, we have over 65 years of experience standing here. I won't share who might have over 30 years or 31 or maybe more than that. And we have 2 Woodburn High School graduates. In their tenure with the school district, they've worked many positions. They started, each one of them have held positions as assistant secretary, head secretary, or district receptionist, district office records secretary. I'm not sure if that's a position anymore. As they've grown with the district and ultimately ended up in the Human Resources office. Having worked in all the buildings have given them a unique experience where they're able to support our schools. They've been in the buildings, so they know what happens in the office, and they're able to support staff very well. I'm sure you've seen my staff volunteering at various events. And we always have the top-notch decorations in our office. And if you're ever in our building, usually all the laughing is coming from our office, and you're always welcome to come join and steal some food. And so I guess I didn't go through, I don't know if you guys bring up the awards, but so I want to recognize Betty Wall, the end here. And then Rocio Avila. And Marisol Sanchez. Let's see. And I just have to say that every day it's an adventure in our office. It's great working with friends, and not a day goes by that there aren't some good belly laughs going on with this group of gals. So I'm sure if you've met them, you know that. So just want to congratulate them and recognize them for all the years they've been here with the district.
Come on aboard. Yeah, do it. All right. Perfect. Okay, we'll take a few here. We have one more right here. Yeah.
You want 2, 3? Oh, thank you.
The next item of the agenda is public comment. Jenny, did we receive any public comment? Thank you for being at the Woodburn School District Board meeting tonight and for sharing your comments with the board. Hearing from our families and our community is important to us. During this section, the board's role is to listen. We will not be engaging in dialogue with folks making comments. When follow-up is warranted, that will be done through our superintendent in collaboration with myself, the board chair. As a reminder, we model the way for our children. Please keep your comments respectful and do not personally identify staff or students by name, or it may violate personnel, hold on, gotta get that memorized, and student privacy laws. In accordance with Board Policy BDDH-AR, the board will not hear comments regarding any individual staff members. We want to leave time for everyone, so please keep your comments to 3 minutes per person. We have a timer set for your convenience. Thank you. I would like to invite to Natalia Sweet to read their public comment.
Can you hear me okay? Okay, so I'm writing from a teacher's perspective to request that our school be assigned a dedicated homeschool contact to support the unique needs of our Russian dual language program. This role is critical not only for equitable support across the district where other language and specialized programs already receive comparable assistance, but also for maintaining a stable, effective teaching and learning environment within the classroom. For the past 2 years, when this position was originally filled as a parent involvement specialist, the
Ms.
impact.
Sweet, you can't refer to any personnel that could be identified, so.
I thought it was general.
Like that could be that one could be identified, so we have to refrain from referring to that specific position.
So how do I proceed?
Just anything that doesn't pertain to a specific person's position that can identify them, you can speak to. So if you want to have an HSC where there isn't currently one, you can speak to that.
Say that again?
If you want to speak to having the homeschool contact position,
Yeah.
which we don't currently have, you could speak to that.
Okay, so then here this critical services that we need for the home contact person to provide. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Program promotion and enrollment, advertising the program, explaining it to prospective families and enrolling children in pre-K class. Parent support for fundraising, translation and interpretation during IP meetings, field trip coordination, after-school program leadership, and organization of the Russian festival as well. So without dedicated homeschool contact, these responsibilities fall back onto teachers. Is that okay? Pulling us away from instructional planning, targeted student support, and academic teaching time. For the sake of equity across district programs and for the stability and health of our classrooms, I respectfully request that the school board reinstate the dedicated homeschool contact for the Russian dual language program. In addition, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Sweet. I'd next like to call Anna Underwood up for public comment.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Anya Underwood. Dear School Board, thank you for this opportunity to speak. I am a parent of 2 students at the Heritage Russian program, and I myself completed the Russian program that extended to Woodburn High School and completed it with an IB diploma. I grew up in Woodburn. This is my home, and the Russian program is part of my past and my future. This program changed my life, and this program matters. I am coming before you, pleading on behalf of the Russian, Ukrainian, and Old Believer parents of Woodburn for a half-time homeschool contact. This role is vital to the program's success. This position will unite all of us. Preschool, elementary, middle school, and high school parents rely on a trustworthy individual who understands our fears, values our traditions, fights for our community, and unconditionally loves and supports our school district. Our culture is skeptical of people in power, and you, the board, hold power. The position we are requesting bridges that gap, extinguishes fear, and establishes a foundation of trust between the school board and our community. The position will allow for parents to feel safe, respected, and most of all, heard. Parents want to be involved. They finally found an individual who is willing to extend their hand from the district and connect us. As far as parents are concerned, no one will hold our respect and trust more for this position than the individual who is completing it right now. Without an established Russian homeschool contact, the community does not feel seen, embraced. We do not feel that the district wants to see us grow and be successful. I and other parents are ready to do our part and see this program thrive. We have an individual fighting for us, and we are ready to stand by the school district. If we lose this position and this individual, the school board and school district will feel the weight of
Ms.
her absence.
Underwood,
Yes,
just be really careful about speaking about the individual. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I understand. The school board and the district will feel the weight of the absence. Will the school board hear our plea? Sincerely, a concerned parent. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite Ludmila Orlik to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lyudmila Orlik. Today, I'm here as a parent with 3 children in the dual Russian program at Heritage and as a member of the Russian program parent committee. I care deeply about our Russian program and the people who work in it. In March of 2023, after many requests, our district has finally created a position for a school contact, homeschool contact to support Russian strength and meet its needs. But later this year, this position quietly shifted into a parent involvement specialist role, adding new responsibilities such as
Ms. Orlik.
organizing.
You have to be really careful about speaking to the individual position because there's only one person that holds that, so that identifies them.
Understand.
Thank you.
That position, that shift defeated the reason for this position to be created in the first place. And I'm sure the school and the district is happy with all the successful events and families being engaged, new community connections made, the district goals and the school improvement plans being met. But what happened to the agreement? What happened to the original position? The issues that the Russian program had then did not just go away. All this, the parent involvement specialist was continuing to carry those homeschool contact duties as well. And first of all, let's think about this. One part-time position trying to cover essentially two different jobs. How long
So
do you
like,
think?
be really careful about speaking specifically to a position that is unique. It violates the personnel or policy.
How long do you think someone in this position will last? This is not sustainable. That's when hardworking employees just simply burn out and leave. Second, it's an equity issue. Spanish-speaking families have immediate access to Spanish-speaking homeschool contacts at every school. Russian-speaking families do not. There's only one whose time and attention is taken but planning and running events. And that gap in access is not equitable or fair. On paper, the district promises equal family support. In practice, one strand has 7 and another relies on a single part-time position. This issue has been brought to the superintendent more than once, but the replies are, yes, we understand, or okay, we'll look into it, but nothing else being done. This is why I'm asking the school board to step in. Please look into this disparity. This issue can easily be solved by moving this position either in a full-time Russian-speaking home contact that works with multiple schools, or creating several part-time positions for Heritage, Valor, and Woodburn High School to ensure that the Russian program has support comparable to what other strands receive. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, I'd like to call Irina Titarenko for public comment. Oh, given by Sasha.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Kichitov and I'm a Russian language program coordinator. So I'm here just to read the statements from parents as our parent enrollment specialist is teaching FAMU now. So I'm here just to read the statement. Stop me if something, I will try
Thank
to
you.
navigate it.
Okay,
So the
thank you so
parent
much.
tried to cut whatever. So, dear members of the school board, I'm writing as a deeply concerned parent and community member regarding the current part-time status of the position. Many of us in the Russian dual language community and across the district feel a growing sense of worry and heartbreak because our students and families desperately need this role to be full-time. When this position was first created, it was specifically designed to meet the needs of the Russian program. Its purpose was clear and essential: to support families navigating linguistic, cultural, and communication challenges, and to help them to feel connected, informed, and welcomed at school. This work is not optional for these families, it is foundational. However, instead of focusing solely on the Russian program, this position began managing school-wide and even district-wide events. This specialist has been fulfilling both responsibility. Okay.
All right.
This is simply not sustainable, and yet, despite the overwhelming demands, the families were served. Our concern is that the position remains part-time when the workload and community needs clearly require a full-time role. Keeping such a crucial position at half-time capacity places an unfair burden on the person, blank. I respectfully but urgently ask the board to reconsider the current status of this position and transition it to the full-time role. The demand of this work is undeniable. Our families depend on consistent guidance, our students depend on strong connections, and our schools depend on someone who can build and maintain those bridges without being stretched beyond what is humanity possible. Please consider the long-term benefits for fully supporting this role for equity, for family engagement, for student success, and for stability of programs that enrich our district. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the sincere concerns of our community. We hope you will stand with us and support a full-time position that truly reflects the needs and realities of our students and families with deep concern. Irina Titarenko. Thank you.
And I would like to invite Ina Shevchuk to read their public comment.
Hello, my name is Ina Shevchak, and I am here to advocate for increasing the family engagement position for the Russian program.
Ms. Shevchuk, so we cannot mention the specific position because it relates to a person, so it violates board policy. So if you can speak to
I will try.
what you're trying to get instead of what we have. Um,
I will try.
and if you don't feel that you can, can email your statement to us.
Mhm. I was part of the original parent committee that went to advocate for the creation of this position, actually, in the first place. Originally, this position was supposed to be basically a homeschool contact position for the Russian program specifically. Job responsibilities would include contacting parents, providing resources, answering questions regarding the program, promoting the program to retain students, which we had struggled with significantly after COVID, and providing culturally appropriate activities. However, shortly after the position was created, the district changed what the role was, and the position of family engagement specialist now had to plan school-wide events instead of focusing on Russian program family communications and advocacy. This role currently has continued to fulfill responsibilities for both positions for part-time hours and pay for it. It's upsetting to me that as parents, the role we had originally fought for was discreetly changed and became something completely different and doesn't address the needs that we had originally advocated for. Please look into this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to invite Taya Barluk to read their public comment.
So again, I will be reading the letter from the parent. Parent is here. Dear members of the school board, I'm writing as a concerned parent and community member to address the part-time status of the blank supporting the Russian dual language program. The needs of our families clearly require this position to be full-time. The role was originally established to assist Russian-speaking families with linguistic, cultural, and communication challenges. Over time, however, its responsibilities have expanded to include school-wide and district-wide support, resulting in a workload that cannot be adequately managed within a part-time schedule. This has led to communication delayed and reduced access to essential family support. Given the scope of importance of this work, I respectfully urge the board to transition this position to full-time status. Doing so is crucial for ensuring equitable access services, strengthening family engagement, and supporting student success. Thank you for your consideration, Mrs. Barlak.
Thank you, Sasha. Next, we'll go to board reports. We'll go around and each share how we are moving the district mission. Each board member will have 1 minute to share. Ryan, do you have anything to share?
Nothing to report today.
Okay. Annabelle?
Conference that took place. There was also learning and more sessions that I wish I would have been able to attend. I'm glad that I was there with colleagues that, we could kind of split up and try to share our learnings. And so definitely recommended this, having, Superintendent Landis and some of our board members who weren't able to attend.
Thank you. Michael?
I also had the opportunity to attend this annual event, and it was nice to see the challenges and really understand what's going on, not just here, but all over Oregon, and the tools that are out there to help us deal with these issues.
I also attended the OSBA conference and it was fabulous, learned so much, but the highlight of the whole thing was our students came to perform, our mariachi band and our, tell me, what is that?
Such a mestiza.
Thank you. It used to be Ballet Folkloria. That's how long I've been in the district. They were amazing. I couldn't even speak. It was so emotional. And people would come up to us after they performed and like grown men, big, tall guys. And, they would say like, oh my gosh, we were just sitting there and tears came to our eyes and lumps in our throat. Like there was not a dry eye in the place when the littles came out and they danced and our mariachi band played. So they represented us so well and we should be so proud. So that was the highlight of my month. All right. We will now move on to the Office of the Superintendent's reports, which include a variety of reports this evening. I will turn it over to Superintendent Larios.
I'll invite up Director Tucker to the podium. Just recently highlighted a few of her staff members of her department, and we'll hear a little bit about the work being done by the Human Resources Department.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'll start the presentation just reviewing the strategic goal around our HR activities. Our goals are to strengthen our stewardship of public resources and community trust. Woodburn School District will be a leader in recruiting, hiring, developing, and retaining quality staff reflective of our student community. And then below that, we have impact goals. I have some information that I'll share on the slides after this. Some of this information is collected, like the climate, job satisfaction. That's kind of a combined thing with the Youth Truth. So pieces of it will come out later on as you receive reports from other folks. And so do you want to go to the next one? Just as a review of what our staffing looks like here, our current staff, or at least from a few days ago, was about 695 employees. This is taking off, as you see, coaches, incidental, student workers. So we have a lot of other folks on staff, but these are more of our full-time folks. And so in classified group, about 307, licensed about 345, and in combination of our admin staff, supervisors, and confidentials, we're at about 43. The total number of students, I have an update to that number. I didn't quite have it when I submitted the report, but it's about 5,185 at this point. Just to highlight a few There it goes. Sorry. Haha. Actually, I'll go on and do this part in my next one or another page. So this graph here tracks our turnover rates over several years. I want to note for you that we took out 2 years around COVID because one of those years was extremely low. Because when everybody's staying at home, a lot of folks didn't switch jobs. And then the year following that, as people were returning, there's a very high turnover. So those two kind of skewed the data. So the years included here are just our consistent full years. And as you can see in 24, 25, our turnover was very low at 4.78%. So that's a very good sign there. And it's gone down over the last couple of years. And this is looking at our license group in particular. And as you see there, I've taken out like the folks who have retired and then folks that are temporary status, as we wouldn't expect them to return the next year. So when you're looking at that percentage, that's excluding those folks and looking at employees who are leaving for other reasons. And we'll look at some of those reasons in just a minute. But I also want to recognize, as we talked about in our welcome back in the fall, I don't know if any of you were there, but we have 113 employees who've been with the district for over 20 years. And then 264 that have been with the district over 10 years. So I think that's really good to remember that we do retain employees. And so those are just big numbers that I wanted you to be aware of. Pull the next one. So when we're talking about retention and why folks might move on, we survey employees as they leave the district. So here are the largest percentages and the reasons why. So 26.8% left for personal reasons not related to experiences at the district. So when you see that it's family has moved or there's, health reasons, it's not something where they've come to us and said, something's going on at the district I don't like. So these are just personal reasons. They didn't have anything negative to say about the district. The next highest number reported is retirement, those folks that are leaving, just retiring from the district. This year, another number, it wasn't on last year's report because it wasn't as significant, but at 10.7%, folks noted that they moved on because of advancement or career opportunities. So that last year, there weren't as many people that reported that. And then the 8.9, or it reflects experiences at their building. And that is, usually something that they weren't happy with. And so those are the biggest percentages and what folks reported in their exit surveys.
What time period was this graph represent?
This is this is total, so 56 responses. So this is cumulative over 2 years.
Over 2 years.
Yeah, I didn't divide out just last year in this. It's adding them all up.
Thank you.
Mhm. And so again, with the 56 responses, how would you rate your overall work experience at the school district? So excellent, 20, good, fair, good 18, fair 15, and poor is 3. And so I looked at some of the comments that were in there just to kind of give you a perspective. But the interesting thing, those folks that said it was excellent to work for, district's excellent to work for, they didn't give a lot of detail. They're like, this was awesome. And that was it. So I found that interesting going back and trying to find those things that said, okay, this is really what they're saying. And then went and looking at the fair and the poor group. When I look through those comments, a lot of them are real specific to a personnel issue or an interaction somewhere. So I can't really get into that detail. But as I read through them, I recognize some different situations, and I know things that may have gone on at that time. So to just give you some of that. Comments in the good for the 18, a few of them were around they gave positive things, but they gave more constructive criticism, like maybe clarity around functions in the district and maybe some, clarity and around communication and just putting things out. But that was not necessarily from a district level. That was just kind of system-wide as maybe just things to look at to improve on. So in general, that's the responses for that area. Are there any questions on that?
I have a question. On average, the individuals that responded with excellent, how long were they in the district on average?
I'd have to go back and pull that because I didn't look at that data here as far as the length of time. But I do remember some of the comments about the ones that are a little more thorough. They're like, I remember when this was going on and this was great and this was great. So, yeah. Any more questions on that?
So you said, and maybe you're going to get to it. So if you are, just let me be quiet. So the retention, the turnover rates, the other, which in the past, there's been some years that's like a big amount of, like last year, it looks like 24, 25, there were 17 that left for other reasons. What are just some of the other reasons?
Some of them will be, they'll say, I'm going to another school district. And we have a code for that that says specifically that. Some of them will say moving out of state or a school district out of state. Just a lot of those smaller kind of thing. And some will, illness, moving away due to illness. So it's just kind of that group, everything that
Doesn't fit somewhere else.
isn't, kind of fits those other two categories where it's like retirement doesn't necessarily that's just kind of the end of the career thing. And then temporary, we're not expecting them to return. So
Okay, thank you.
so we talked about that one. And then to just highlight some of the things that the district do that supports retention. We have a district mentor program, and I'll speak a little bit more in detail about that in a moment. Staff wellness activities, which Jenny will present at some point in time. And then I'll talk through the salary and benefits and talk a little bit about your teaching and learning opportunities and our Grow Your Own program. So I don't know if you're aware about our district mentor program. So we're currently serving on the right side 11 elementary teachers, 13 secondary, and 7 special education teachers. These are staff members that are in their first or second year of teaching. These numbers are a little bit lower this year, which is reflected in our lower turnover. And so in the special education area, we actually went down to 1 mentor for special education, where last year we had 2. We had a lot more teachers that were in that program last year, so who have kind of graduated beyond that. And so I don't know if you want me to read through this specifically. You could probably have already read through it, but so our mentors are there to support in any way needed. Staff can reach out to them. Regardless of what type of support, whether it's classroom support or instructional practices, anything that they really need. Go ahead and the next one. And here's just some data around why the mentor program is important. And it's kind of unique to this district. This district has had it for many years, and it's proven successful. And so without mentoring, 8 to 12% leave the profession before the end of the first year, 30% leave it before the 3rd year. And then 50% of teachers in the U.S. leave the profession before the 5th year. And so with mentoring, mentors serve to help reduce teacher attrition by providing all-around support for teachers. As full release mentors, our retention of first-year teachers in education is currently 100%, with 89% staying in Woodburn. So that shows how well that support works for our teachers. And then just a little information about what they do. Mentors spend a minimum of an hour a week in class observation and feedback time with each new teacher. They observe, offer suggestions, offer resources, strategies, take new teachers to observe veteran teachers, and support new teachers in any way needed. And just kind of closing out that program, mentors provide professional development areas of classroom management, social emotional learning, engagement strategies, behavior management. At the beginning of the year, we have a 3-day orientation for the new teachers. And a lot of staff come in and work with them and kind of get them to hit the ground running a little bit. And then just many new teachers stated that without the mentoring, they would not have made it as a teacher, because of relationships that mentors create with new teachers. Once mentors work with the teacher, the mentor is forever a resource for them in their career. So of course, in any position, the compensation is very important in maintaining and retaining staff. Oops, okay, I'm listening. Yes, no. So going over this real quickly, the district picks up the 6%. We offer longevity pay. Currently, our insurance cap is $1,600 per month, so $19,200 per year. In addition to that, licensed staff and classified staff are part of an insurance pool. In the licensed group, the balance of that pool gets distributed at the end of the year. So last year, the amount distributed was $319,000 distributed to HRAs, and $431,675 distributed to HSA. So that's a significant benefit on top of that. And then just down below, stipends and differentials. On top of the salary, these different items are added onto that salary depending on what you have. And as I spoke about before, we have let's see, 178 employees receiving. It says the SOL differential here. It's actually, I think the number is higher than that, but it's combined with language differential as well. And so you can just see, like, in our special education staff get a 10% differential onto their salary as well for those added duties there. I'm going to go to the next one. This is just a good visual. You can refer back to later. If you have questions about it, you can reach out to me. But this is just comparing our salaries with neighboring districts. And so I put proposed up there. We're currently in negotiation, so
What
that
is that proposed?
that's at 2.75% on their 24, 25. So with what we're currently proposing, that's how it looks in comparison to the other districts. Across the top, I just picked different columns starting at masters and going across there. Most of the districts end with a master's plus 40 or 45, whereas in we go on and we have a master's plus 60 column. So that's why you don't see that green with those other districts as well. But that's just some information. And for just opportunities for staff to get involved, teaching and learning opportunities, committee work, task force, involved in our dual language advisory committee, curriculum adoption committees. We have our conference next week. A lot of our staff is involved in presenting at that conference and providing professional development, being involved in professional development. So it's just listed all that information there. And then as far as grow your own, we have partnerships with different programs, special education licensure pathway with Western Oregon. We provide tuition reimbursement within our license, CBA, and then dual language specialization endorsement support there. And we currently have an Oregon teaching apprenticeship program, which we recognized 2 of those members last year who had completed. And we have 2 more that are in cycle right now that should complete within the next 2 years. So that grant is still active. We have, it ends in 3 years. It's a 3-year grant. So hopefully we'll be able to put a couple more folks into that.
Thank
So,
you, Nikki.
There you go.
Does anybody have any questions?
Not right now.
Mhm.
I do have one. So the balance, 319,171 goes to HRAs and 431,675 goes to HSAs. So up to IRS limits. So was there still money left over after they hit those limits? Or was the pool totally sucked up with that? And that might be more of a Sarah question.
I think I have the answer, but I'll let the
Okay.
pro answer so I don't mess it up.
Yeah, go ahead and come up.
So your question was there money in the pool after it was distributed up to the HSA limits?
Yeah.
There was. And that's why once the HSA was fully funded up to the IRS limits, the remaining balance is then distributed equally in the HRA.
Oh.
So after that, there's no money in the
No
pool.
money left. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Nikki.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that. Keeping us in the know. All right, Juan?
Well, next we'll be inviting up Arthur Academy. We have, as part of the charter, Arthur presents to the board twice annually. So this is the first presentation, and Arthur is back up on the agenda, I believe in April. So welcome.
Welcome. Good evening. We may
Now that you
talk
can
about-
hear me, we can take a look at last year. So this report is for the 24-25 school year. And let's talk about a little bit about who we are. We believe ourselves to be a highly successful public charter school. And of course, we are sponsored by the Woodburn School District. And our mission is that every single student, regardless of ethnicity, parental income, learning difference, culture, or native language, will become a fluent reader and will master the academic and intellectual skills necessary to succeed at the next level of schooling. We want to get these guys ready for your middle schools. That's what we want to do. Our motto is pay attention, work hard, get smart, and be proud. And our kids know that motto. They'll go by us chanting it in lines. It's hilarious. Our core values Our school community is a place where students, staff, and families are valued and respected, honoring our diverse cultures and experiences. We work together to provide a safe, welcoming environment in which all students thrive and love to learn. Thank you for clicking for me. Here's our staff from last year teaching. We had 6 classroom teachers. We had an intervention specialist. That is like her official title, but her role really is more of vice principal. She calls it other duties as assigned. We have 1 SEL specialist, social emotional learning specialist. We have 4 small groups teachers, and all of our teachers, all of our staff are licensed and registered, TSPC. For support staff, we had 2.5 resource coordinators, and they help with lunches and recess. For administration, we have myself as an administrator, we have an office coordinator, and then our central office has our executive director, our business manager, and a wonderful lady also who does HR and payroll. Here's our enrollment and demographics. As you can see, in fall of 2024, we had 164 students, and then by spring, we had 155. Almost every single one of those students ended up moving out of the Woodburn School District. So that's why we lost a couple students here and there. Our wait list before we started school was 47. And that completely filled up our kindergarten, and then we were able to place students in some of the upper grades as well. And now we get to talk about the Oregon State Assessment. I always love sharing this with you. Woodburn School District is the blue, and Arthur Academy is the green, and this is based on our scale scores. And of course, this is language arts. And then we have mathematics. And of course, science for 5th grade only. For our school assessments, and I know Woodburn often calls them district assessments, we don't do MAP testing. We do the Easy CBM tests in the fall and in the spring. And this following graph will show the percentages of students at or above the 40th percentile for their spring Easy CBM reading tests. This is looking a lot better than when it did in the COVID times, let me tell you. And here's Easy CBM math. And now we get to talk about ELL students. So we had 41 students enrolled, which put our percentage at 26%. The number of ELL students in SPED was 11, and then we ended up with 11 who are exited and now monitored. And this is just our breakdown by grade level. If you look at emerging for 4th grade, this is just kind of interesting. That one student that was emerging, it was her first year. I think in the whole Woodburn School District, her parents only spoke Spanish, and she only spoke Spanish when she started with us. Now she is pretty much at a 3rd grade reading level, but placed in the 5th grade classroom with extra help and supports and interventions.
Nice.
And here's our parent survey. And then here's the rest of our parent survey. And I really like that breakdown of where it shows for homeschool, neighborhood school, private school, and another charter school. I always find that really interesting. And the only reason that we only had 88% is because the other 12% are 5th graders who are leaving us and hopefully coming to your middle schools. All right, and then this next page, up on the left-hand side where it has kind of just the head of the panther, the WAA Panthers, that was our old logo. And we have gone from the Knights to the Panthers with that older one there. And now we have Penelope Panther, that cute little panther with a little bow.
Cute.
So, any questions?
Any questions? I do. I have a question.
Okay.
So on your Easy CBM for math,
Mhm.
what do you think accounts for the low scores for the 4th and 5th graders?
Good catch. I had a funny feeling you were going to catch that, Debbie. I had a feeling. I really think that part of the Easy CBM problem with those 4th and 5th graders is they are still very COVID impacted. And you'll notice the 3rd grade has shot way up.
I saw that.
Yep. And then 2nd, 1st in kindergarten. I think a lot of that is due to COVID impact. I think a lot of it is due to just, we had some really big attendance issues. And I know we do district-wide, but we had some pretty big attendance issues, especially in 4th and 5th grade that we were really trying to work on last year, but it meant they missed some instruction. And in fact, the 4th grade class there, that's the 5th grade class now, we're still working on that same problem with them. So there's a lot of meetings with parents and a lot of notices going out, but that's just kind of what we're combating with the 4th and 5th grade, last year's 4th and 5th grade class.
And then your wait list, did you get all your kids off the wait list? or-
We have every single kid enrolled unless we do have a couple kids who are on that wait list only because their parents don't want them to come unless both siblings can come.
Oh, okay.
So, yep, we filled up our 4th and 5th grade classes as much as we could.
Nice. Anyone else?
Anyone?
So for the Oregon State assessments, you show that the Woodburn School District is lower than Arthur in all categories and all grades. And what do you attribute that to?
I get this question a lot, largely our curriculum. Our curriculum is very explicit, it's step by step. And because it is step by step from grade level to grade level, there aren't the same learning gaps that happen in a lot of the traditional public schools. For instance, if you have 3 second grade classes and those 3 second grade classes are going to 3 third grade classes, those students are going to be divvied up into different cohorts for the next year, right? Well, those 3 teachers may have had certain gaps in their curriculum. And so when those students go in, teachers are trying to fill in for all the gaps of all the different students from those 3 different classes. And we don't have that because ours is step by step and it's just our curriculum.
Curriculum.
Yep, because if, let's say a class doesn't finish the 2nd grade program, guess what? They start the next year in 3rd grade. They start that 2nd grade program right where they left off. And then we have to hurry up and do what we call fast cycling to get them back up to grade level as quickly as possible. We had that happen in our 2nd grade classroom last year where they went in as basically 1st grade readers. And they were like in the middle of the program and we had to hustle up and catch them up. We caught them up by the end of the year. They are now at grade level in 3rd grade with that curriculum that's just very explicit and step by step.
Anyone else? Well, thank you very much for coming.
Any
to
other
talk to us.
questions? Thank you. And Debbie, it's nice to see you behind that bench.
Okay, last we have our financial report from the business office. We invite Director Bishop to present.
Good evening, everyone. It's
Good
nice
evening.
to see you all again.
You too.
You have in front of you your typical financial report for the month of October. Again, it's the beginning of the school year, not a ton exciting has happened. You'll see most of our property tax revenue has not yet come in. You'll see that reflected on the November and December financial reports. The state school fund will be rebalanced this month, so we might see some changes to our state school fund. I don't believe it'll impact us negatively, but we will see some changes. Otherwise, I'd open this for questions.
Question? Michael, do you want to-
So we learned a lot during the OSBA annual conference, right? And, one of the things that districts are doing is that, as, financials are being presented, they have a lot more detail, right? And so including, what's being, expended. And so we're hoping to, get more details on this as we move forward. So
Sure.
just put on your radar. Debbie, is there-
Also, they suggested we get the state school estimates when they come out and also the enrollments monthly by school and by like EL, whatever we get the weighted for.
Sure.
We could get those monthly, so.
Yeah, so the student enrollment isn't something I do in my office, so that wouldn't necessarily be something I can provide to you, but we can facilitate working on that.
Okay.
Yes, we can absolutely provide the state school fund estimates, and just so you know, they're on ODE's website for the last, decade. If you ever get a hankering to go and look at those are out there. But yeah, we can absolutely do that.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Did anybody else have anything? Oh, Brian.
What kind of services are being provided under community services, $8,000? What does that include?
So in the general fund, there's not a ton of community services that happen. That is mostly you'll see in the special revenue funds. So a lot of that is like the family literacy nights, community events, Dia de los Muertos, like the Slavic festival that just
Okay.
happened. Things like that would fall in that category.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda are confirmation items presented as follows. 1, meeting minutes of October 7th, 2025, special board meeting. October 14th, 2025, special board meeting, October 28th, 2025, regular board meeting. Number 2, personnel. Number 3, surplus property disposal reports. Number 4, acceptance of gifts and donations. Do we have any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt the confirmation items as presented.
I move to accept the confirmation items as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of adopting the confirmation items as presented, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, next on the agenda, we have board action items. So we have new business tonight, and the first thing on the list is the Woodburn High School cafeteria tables / decor replacement project.
And I'm back. This is something we're super excited about. I don't know if any of you have sat at the high school tables recently, but they're not comfortable. They're not, and they're just not very nice. They've been there for a while. I'm sorry. So we're really excited to be able to replace the tables at the high school in the cafeteria and in the bistro area. So we went out for a competitive bid due to the amount that needs to be spent. And you'll see in front of you, and Jenny nicely included some of the pictures. Thank you, Jenny, of what the mock-up of the new table and design looks like. So we're asking the board to approve and accept the bid for the new cafeteria tables and decor.
Does it seat as many people as it currently seats?
I actually think it seats more.
And what is the estimated lifespan of, this new equipment to what we have? Just
Estimated lifespan, or how long will we hold on to it? Because I think those are kind of different questions.
how long will you? Yeah.
So typically the lifespan of any equipment, we try to get between 10 and 20 years. Sometimes we'll hold on to them much longer than that because really we don't always have the funding to be able to do these types of things. Our nutrition services department runs like a well-oiled machine, and we have the excess funds in there right now to be able to do this. So you'll probably see these up there for the next 20 years.
So you mentioned comfort, but I see the chairs on the long tables being the same.
They're
Just
bigger.
plates, you mean?
So when we when we actually put this bid out, we requested a specific type of seat. So these ones are actually a lot bigger than what's currently up there.
What constitutes decor?
That would be like the things on the walls. So they're hoping to, again, make it a little more exciting up there. I was going to see. So if you look on this picture here, you'll see some wall decals, some things that are going on the tables. That would be considered decor.
Oh, okay.
Superintendent, do you have any input on this, or what's your assessment of the current condition of the cafeteria seating?
I think this is fantastic. This is an upgrade that, the cafeteria is intended to be a place to build community. I think these sitting arrangements allow that for students to be able to have, more enriching experiences during the lunch breaks. So I think this is a phenomenal upgrade for our high school.
And it's just for the high school?
Yes.
Did the students have any input on this, design or any?
I don't know if the students per se had input. I know the high school administration was a part of the decision making with the decorum and the tables. And if they solicited feedback from students, I'm not sure.
I believe they actually put out pictures during lunchtime and asked students to vote on what they liked best. And that would have happened last year.
What was the main difference, sorry, in that survey question? You said a photo, so what would have been the main differences? Because I'm assuming it's a bit limited considering the budget and what's needed for that space.
I honestly couldn't tell you right now. I'd have to go back and look.
And the company is from,
Oh gosh.
you knew I was going to ask.
It is AmTab. I'd have to look specifically. I know some of the voting criteria was American made, Oregon, recognized minority, and white woman owned.
So it is an American company. Other than that, I can't tell you exactly where they are from. Illinois?
And so when I'm looking at this budget,
Illinois.
the line item is nutritional services.
Mhm.
Do you know what number that is?
It's Fund 205. So it would be Fund 205, Function 3100.
Just trying to find it here on,
So you're probably looking, are you looking at the general fund budget?
I'm looking at
You won't find it there. So
Okay.
this is a special revenue fund. Nutrition Services operates solely in its own fund. We have to account for those revenues and expenses separately outside of the general fund. So if you look in the budget, it'll be towards the back. You'll have your general fund, your special revenue fund, and then a nutrition services fund in the budget book.
I just can't believe that we have $355,000 sitting in this fund that's open to spend on this. Can you tell me about what we started with, how much we have in there, and what type of impact this purchase has on that fund?
Sure. So we're actually required to report every year our excess operating balance to the state and federal government in the child nutrition program. So like I said, our child nutrition program runs very efficiently. So we have an excess operating balance. The state and federal government require us to expend those funds within 1 or 2 years. So we have an excess balance in there. So due to the need at the high school for the new tables, they wanted to spend that balance on this expenditure specifically. We've operated in the black in that fund since before I was here. So I won't attribute that to anything I've done. It's just the efficiency of running that program.
And then after the $355,000 purchase, what would our balance be?
In the child nutrition program, at the end of the year, I believe we're still slated to have over $1 million in our ending fund balance in that fund.
What do we mainly spend money from that fund on?
Staffing and food.
Staffing and food things.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
So you've mentioned that it runs like a oiled machine. Is that kind of excess funds expected to just continue to be?
No, not necessarily. We have rising costs of food every year, rising staffing costs. So no, not necessarily. But again, when we have an excess operating balance, we are required to spend it by state and federal law.
Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I guess last quick question. if
Okay,
that's
yeah, for sure.
How long because I know we have a limited time, when would be, what is the amount we would need to spend by what date, just to make sure that we're not also having to send anything back or lose funds?
We don't ever have to send anything back. We have to make a plan for the spend down of those funds. So this was part of their plan, their proposal to spend down those funds.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I move to approve resolution number 25-008 to award AM Tab Manufacturing the contract for the new cafeteria furniture and decor for Woodburn High School at a cost of $355,774.67.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve resolution number 25-008 to award Tab Manufacturing the contract for the new cafeteria furniture and decor for Woodburn High School at a cost of $355,774.67. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thinking about it.
Oh.
Oh, it's delayed in my eye.
Okay.
I'll go, Aye, on the first one, I guess.
Motion carries 4-0. Okay, the next item, action item is reaffirming safe and welcoming schools for all.
Under this agenda item, we're going to introduce two different documents. The first one is more of an informational document that we're bringing forward, and it's an update to one of our administrative rules, KN relations to law enforcement. And that is included in your packet. And what you see at the last 2 pages are some language in red. And that language in red is pulling in the, seems I'm confused. So this is,
Yeah,
on,
I'm getting caught up here. Got it now. Yep.
so this is, yeah, this is included in your board packet. I don't have it in front of me, which page,
52.
thank you. 52 of your board packet. And so you see language in red there. And that's pulling in language of our protocol for how we engage with federal immigration agents. Pulling it into the policy again is reiterating our commitment to this, to keeping safe and welcoming schools for all, how we will dutifully safeguard the learning environment for our students, staff, and families, regardless of immigration status, locating it in the AR and the policy under one comprehensive policy supports staff and families and community with locating it. It increases our transparency, and the communication of our protocols, and it strengthens trust and the reassurance for what we stand for, and that letting the community know that we're prepared. So that is an informational document, and it will go on our website and our policy, just making sure like everybody knows like we stand by this and how committed we are to it by making it a part of our policy. The second document that we're introducing came forward from a conversation that was had at the last board meeting around the idea of reintroducing, readopting the policy, the resolution from last spring. And so we're bringing forward tonight is a draft of a new resolution that brings in new language, enhancing the previously adopted resolution.
So I'm going to share what we added. At OSBA, we had an opportunity to collaborate with a lot of districts that were in the same situation and we were able to look at their resolutions, and it really helped us to further develop ours. So the first thing we added it in was, whereas the physical safety and emotional well-being of all children in the district is top priority. Whereas all persons have the potential to contribute to the health, well-being, and general welfare of our community and district as families, neighbors, workers, and taxpayers. Whereas WSD does not discriminate on any basis regardless of an individual's perceived or actual race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, national or ethnic origin, marital status, age, mental or physical disability, pregnancy, familial status, economic status, or veteran status of any other persons with whom the individual associates as referenced in Board Policy AC. And then whereas we recognize that national events, including threats of mass deportation and the current political climate, have caused uncertainty and anxiety for many in our communities, and that we share in the responsibility to respond to these circumstances on behalf of Woodburn School District, educational professionals, students, and families. Whereas the ability of WSD students to achieve would be negatively impacted by the arrest or detention of their family members and caregivers through the actions of governmental and federal immigration agencies, for example, ICE, and the district has established procedures to protect and care for such students to mitigate the trauma they might experience. And then, and under the, therefore be it resolved, WSD will collaborate with staff, the Oregon Department of Education, and immigration advocates to provide training and support for students, staff, and their families on immigrant rights, understanding various immigration statuses, and the overall health and well-being of those affected to the best of our ability. WSD may provide multilingual resources for its students, staff, and their families in collaboration with local organizations addressing immigration assistance, immigrant rights, mental health care, and public safety to the best of our ability. WSD will work to maintain a curriculum that reflects our students' identities and lived experiences, ensuring schools remain safe where students feel safe, remain spaces where students feel safe, welcome, and valued for who they are. So those are the things that we added to the previous resolution. Any thoughts?
The additions were needed, and I thank you for that.
Appreciation too.
Reflects the board's balance.
This is what we felt really reflected what we as a board and feel and think about our community and want them to know that Woodburn School District is a safe place. So that brought about the changes. So is that being said, I would entertain a motion to adopt.
I move to adopt resolution number 25-009, reaffirming safe and welcoming schools for all.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution number 25-009, reaffirming safe and welcoming schools for all. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to add a comment for the record. Your previous resolution had a different number, and this is the new number, the 25-009.
Okay. Thank
you.
Jenny. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the 2025 OSBA elections for the Marion region. And so we have Board of Directors, OSBA Board of Directors, position 11. And we have, are there 2 candidates for that?
There are, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have, I can help
Would you help?
walk you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jenny, please take over.
So, this year is a year for open positions. And so in our region, Marion, you have 2 candidates or 2 positions for board, OSBA board, and that's 11 and 12. In position 11, you have 2 candidates running. And then for position 12, you have 1 candidate that's running unopposed. The other 2 positions that represent you, the Marion region, are for Legislative Policy Committee, and there's position 11, and then there's also position 12, and they each have a candidate. For the positions that only have 1 candidate, if you do not want to vote for that position, you would not make a motion to move. I mean, I guess you could, and then you could vote no, but I would just suggest not to do a motion. You can move on to the next. For position 11, same thing. If you don't want to vote for either of those candidates, you wouldn't make a motion. We would just move on to the next. For position 11, since there are 2 candidates, you can kind of take a straw poll and then somebody make a motion, or someone can make a motion to vote for one person. If there's a second, you can have a discussion and then take a vote. If that fails, then you could reintroduce another motion with the other candidate and then take a second and then do a vote.
Okay, so for OSBA Board of Director position 11, is there a thought? Ryan, do you have a,
Yeah, I move to vote for Karen Guzman Ortiz for the OSBA Board of Director, position 11.
is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to vote for Karina, was that? Yeah, for Karina Guzman Ortiz for OSBA Board position 11. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0 for Karina Guzman Ortiz. Next, we have OSBA position, director position, and we have 1 candidate, Jose Alonso Olivares Vasquez.
I move to vote for Jose Alonso Oliveros Vasquez for position 12.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to vote for Jose Alonso Oliveros Vasquez for Board of Director position 12. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. The next one is OSBA Legislative Policy Committee, position 11, and the candidate is Mel Fuller. Any thoughts?
I vote to move for Mel Fuller for Legislative Policy Committee position 11.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to vote for Mel Fuller for OSBA Legislative Policy Committee position 11. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Our final one is OSBA Legislative Policy Committee position 12, and the candidate is Lisa Harnish. Is there any thoughts, or I would entertain a motion?
I move to vote for Lisa Harnish for OSBA Legislative Policy Committee position 12.
Is there a second?
I second.
It's been moved and seconded to vote for Lisa Harnish for OSBA Legislative Policy Committee position 12. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Okay. At this time, we will recess the regular meeting for an executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602F to consider information or records that are exempt by law from public inspection.
I made sure I did.
Okay. Read them both, do both.
Okay. I'm good.
No, I have to. Okay. I now call the regular meeting back to order. At this time, we need to add board action items, agenda items to address executive session. One would be the level 3 grievance. I would entertain a motion.
I move to hear the level 3 grievance reviewed in executive session.
Is there a second?
A second.
It's been moved and seconded to hear the level 3 grievance reviewed in executive session. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. I'll now turn it over to Michael.
No.
For the second agenda item. You're asking for a motion, yeah.
No, is there a motion for the second, item we discussed in the executive session?
I'll go ahead and move, we delegate authority to Vice Chair Michael Vasquez to work with legal counsel in retaining an investigator to investigate the complaint discussed in executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed?
No. 3 yes, 1 no is the final vote. Motion carried.
Do we have any requests for future agenda items? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to the board calendar. December 9th, 2025 will be our regular board meeting at 5:45 PM.
I do want to mention that we also have a school visit that week. You'll be visiting Washington on Thursday, the 11th, I believe it is. And we're starting there at Washington, and you'll be, yes, Washington Nelly on December 11th at 11 o'clock. You'll start at Washington with classroom visits and then joining, I believe it's the Littles for lunch. And then around noonish, we'll head over to Nellie Mere. 12:15.
All right, thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everyone, for your time this evening. With no other agenda items listed, I now move to adjourn the meeting at 8:44 PM.